Simon, thanks for the update. Let's turn our attention now to the United States, where the Conservative Political Action Conference is to be held over the next few days. Let's bring in my colleague from the US Report and Sky News Outsiders, one of the third of the Outsiders, James Morrow, as he does every Thursday. He joins me. James, the CPAC is to be held over the next few days. Some of the big names like DeSantis won't be there. What can we expect this year at that conference?
Yeah, well, that's a really interesting thing there. So people I've spoken to said the really one big draw card that is going to be is Trump, and Trump's going to speak there at CPAC. So it's really going to become really more the Trump-PAC convention here. Ron DeSantis has said he's not going to go. I think this is a wise move for him because what he wants to do is avoid that fight with Donald Trump too early in the process where it just becomes about the two of them, and both of them will wind up getting hurt. I think for the CPAC, I think that it means that the convention is starting to decline in relevancy if it is only seen as representing one wing of conservatism within the party. So it's no longer a king-making type of proposition, is it? It's just, endorsing Trump. But, well, we all knew that was going to happen anyway, Kieran.
In the GOP chair, Ronna McDaniel, she wants... I thought this was interesting during the week. I'm interested to see what you think about her suggestion that they require Republican candidates to back the eventual nominee, regardless of who that is. How viable is that? How likely?
Well, look, I mean, you can get people to sign anything, but there's not really a lot you can do about it if somebody decides to go the other way on it. I mean, it's a bit like saying, no, we won't do anything to change the way superannuation is taxed, isn't it, Kieran? The interesting thing about this is that it goes back, this goes all the way back to 2015. The then RNC chair, Reince Priebus, he wanted everybody to sign a pledge. This was after, at that first Republican debate, I think there were something like 17 candidates on the stage, and Donald Trump said, nah, if he wasn't the guy, he wouldn't necessarily support the candidate. So there's a long history of this. And again, this is all about trying to rein in Trump. But I don't think that this is going to do anything except, make Trump feel like he's more of a victim in all of this and have a way, I think, to say, look, I'm not the establishment guy. The establishment tried to silence me. The establishment tried to keep me from fighting for you, the American people, all of that rhetoric. And so this could wind up being, I think, bit stepping on a rake for the Republicans if they make an issue out of something that they'd never be able to solve with a piece of paper anyway.
When you look at this from an analyst's perspective, you'd say DeSantis or someone like that, a younger version, would be the more potent political option for the next presidential election. But still, there's that rusted-on chunk of the Republican Party that just say Trump or no one, isn't there?
Well, look, there is that. That's part of the problem. The big problem the Republicans have is that Trump can absolutely win the primary, but he can't win a general election. But can Ron DeSantis win the primary? Well, we don't know about that. And if it starts to become a fight between these two individuals, then you're looking potentially down the barrel of another 4 years of Joe Biden, which is, I think, an amazing thing to think about. But then again, you had John Fetterman win in Pennsylvania, so anything can happen. What's really interesting is that Donald Trump, the last week or so, has really dialed down the attacks on DeSantis. He's dialed down the attacks on Nikki Haley, and he has actually started to do things like go to East Palestine, Ohio, attack the Biden administration on foreign policy over Ukraine, and start acting in a way that could almost be described as sort of being the shadow president. This is a comfortable role that he's in. He's done it before, and if we see more of that, that's actually going to increase his viability as a Republican candidate.